most of the media agencies and most of the big brands have gaming teams.
This is why you can't risk missing out on this moment. You have to be in the game, literally.
The way I look at Call of Duty, it's the biggest digital out-of-home company in the world. They're bigger than JCDecaux.
Yeah.
But they don't monetize that. Don't be a clickhead, right? Because
okay.
Just because there's an easy way to measure with click, it doesn't necessarily say that that's the best way to measure it.
Bold conversations is what it is all about at Mobile Groove, and conversations that are memorable. And speaking of memories, how could it be that I get together again with Itamar Benedy? You are, of course, CEO. You are the man behind Anzu. But we were talking about this, what was it, 10 years ago? So here we are. We're back together again. It's so good to see you, by the way. You're looking great.
I'm very excited and where the industry is now. And, we're preaching for this intersection of advertising and gaming for a long time. And
10 years.
Wasn't easy, when we just started. And so, yeah, great to be here.
What are some of the cool things that you're able to do and show in games now to stretch our imagination of what's possible?
Premium gaming is something that we're very excited about. There's a whole great, amazing, big business in mobile gaming with companies like Plavin and Unity taking the lead. But there was a gap in the market for premium games, for games on a console environment, and paid games that could not accept full screen ads. Let's take a game like Call of Duty. I think the way I look at Call of Duty, it's the biggest digital out-of-home company in the world. They're bigger than JCDecaux.
Yeah.
But but they don't monetize that. So for us, it was about how can brand advertisers be in the game in an authentic and native way. And
what about the format? What are you, more in the game or around the game? Because it's got to be that immersive experience.
Yeah. So the IAB call it intrinsic in-game advertising. There's an official definition for it. And it's the concept is that the ad becomes part of the game and not instead of the game. It can be a billboard in the game. It can be a poster of a brand on a wall. It can be a logo of a brand on a shirt.
Yeah.
The concept here is that every game object in the game can be monetized and replaced with branded content so that the game becomes more realistic by having these brands in the game. And also the gaming companies will get this extra revenues from this type of advertising.
Yeah. Is it mostly upper funnel, mostly the brand awareness and the signage and being there? Or is it evolving as well as we have evolved in the industry in 10 years, that you can go a little bit more middle funnel? How far can you go with the intrinsic in-game advertising now?
So the format is not clickable, but still we can do the whole funnel. There's a lot of work around attribution, both for offline attribution and online attribution. And there's different companies, third-party companies and models around. If someone saw an ad in your game and a day after he bought that product and he didn't buy that product in the last 180 days, it can be it cannot be necessarily connected. If it's 100,000 people, there's a high chance at least some of them were correlated to seeing ads in the games. The two biggest KPIs or metrics that we work with brands around is attribution and incremental reach. So, because we work with a lot of games that never accepted ads before, for the first time, brands can communicate and reach these audiences. And that opens this incremental reach of people who don't watch cable, linear TV, and don't use some of the social platforms. And now brands can, for the first time, with all the advertising standards, communicate to them. So this combination of reaching net new audiences and having strong conviction on attribution is really what drives a lot of the growth here.
Is that what you go into the conversation with brands and say, this is why you can't risk missing out on this moment. You have to be in the game, literally.
A lot of our ad dollars in brand partners are allocating dollars from television, from CTV, and environments where there's no a click So the whole ecosystem has different models around how do you measure success, what's most important. So the IB was calling it the other day, don't be a clickhead, right? Because like
Okay.
just because there's an easy way to measure with click, it doesn't necessarily say that that's the best way to measure it. Think
Yeah.
about like
It's what they know. That's the
exactly.
problem.
I
And we
mean,
have to get away from that. Someone called it the click industrial complex. It was like
yeah,
this mentality of
yeah,
it's always been that way, always will be. But you're
yeah.
breaking that.
One thing that didn't
True.
change, so Peggy, so we met last time 10 years ago, a lot changed.
Yeah.
One thing that didn't change is the last click
Yes.
attribution model, right?
Yes.
So maybe it's time for
Maybe
that
it's
as well.
time. It's
Yeah.
time. That'll be next year we're here,
Yeah.
I'm sure. How about a
Choose.
cool activation? Something where like the uplift was off the charts or the approach was different in the game. I mean, I know it's visual, but there are different ways to innovate there,
Yeah.
you know?
So we also work with sport leagues
Okay.
where, for example,
Ah,
we work
smart.
with like the official game of a sport league.
Mm-hmm.
And then we allow sponsors of that league
To
to
be in the
expand their package with gaming.
Smart.
Still, for a lot of brands, gaming is something scary, new, that they're not sure how to navigate. Once the conversation moves to sports packages,
And
or
it's like this really attractive add-on.
exactly,
Yeah.
or when we also work with like the console, with some of the games on the console gaming platforms, and that's played on a TV screen,
Right.
right? So with all the buzz around CTV, that's like now
Absolutely.
a TV package. So there's like different ways that we saw that resonate. In some brands, it's more about like I want to be in the game, and
Yeah.
some brands it's more about it's less about gaming. It's more about the incremental reach. So they see Anzu as a video network with exclusive traffic and incremental reach, and gaming is the excuse of why to even work with us. So there's different like
But that's a very smart move. Has to be yours because if you think about it, you've broken down that barrier of saying, "Oh, it's radically new." No, it's part of a package that brands understand. They understand, the signage, whether it's on the kit or it's on the car, and you're just taking them that one extra level. And maybe that's also the approach is to do it in baby steps. That baby steps are good.
yeah, and brands love innovation, but brands don't typically change the way they work, right?
Yes.
And the gap of like consumer time spent to end dollar is real. And we have a lot of strategic investors that, of course, helps us in that regard. NBC Universal is one of our investors.
Okay.
PayPal is one of our investors.
Done well in 10 years, Itamar. That wasn't the case back then.
Yeah.
You are a doer. You've talked about games being a cultural force,
Yeah.
not just a channel. I like that, by the way. I like that very much. But unpack that for me, what that means and the implications of that, because we know 3.3 billion gamers on the planet, but a cultural force, that's different.
Yeah. Gaming it just became more than a game. I have 3 boys, 10, 5, 2. And I see what gaming is for them, right? Like gaming is their social like platform. For some people, gaming is their commerce platform. It's like became the most like active form of entertainment. The thing about gaming is like with hardcore gamers, you don't want to mess with them, right? Like they don't like brand activation can go south if the community doesn't like it. But if they like it, they're going to be your
That K
best
factor is massive.
your best champions,
Yes,
right? So
absolutely.
it's more about like understanding like the different types of gamers, where gamers are coming from, and the power that the gaming community has, and how as a marketer you can leverage that. We work with some gaming companies that have people that will broadcast these games on Twitch
for the
and YouTube.
YouTubers, the influencers,
And so, like, the marketer will pay for the content in the game, and then he'll get the free exposure of the content in the game streaming platform. And it's like we have situations where there's more content in the stream than in the game. There are situations where there's like the content in the stream is more popular than half of the TV shows out there.
It's true.
So like
People want to watch somebody play a game.
I mean, like, for me, Twitch is still a phenomenon. Like, how many people would every day watch other people playing games, right? So it's an example of like the power that gaming has, and the opportunities for marketers if they know how to do it right.
Have you been able to do that? Have you been able to trigger a certain virality through what you're doing, how you're working with a brand in the game?
Yeah, we had many brand activations where the community, the gaming community, liked the execution, and there was like a lot of conversations on Reddit and content on TikTok around like people. I mean, it was like a drink, like a brand, people drinking the brand while they see the ad and picturing it, and a lot of fun stuff there. We can, from the ad placements, we can promote conversations and social as well.
Okay.
And so it's all very connected.
So you talk about connected.
Yeah.
Can I just zoom in on that for a moment? Because it's all about CTV also here. What's it looking like? What's that experience looking like for you? Because it's going to translate really well.
Our ad in a console game played on a TV screen is a very different environment than a mobile game. But it's also like about the graphics. An important factor is also the engine, right? So like some games, like in the mobile gaming, most of them are based on like on the Unity engine.
Yeah.
But like there's also like the Unreal Engine owned by like Epic and Fortnite, and there's custom engine. So there's a lot of different factors for like a great experience. Of course, known IP is a big thing in gaming.
Yeah.
I like to see Anzu as like a premium 2.0 and like a native 2.0 platform, because like today, like what's premium in the advertising world? A website, which is like a two-dimensional, simple graphics with some great words and content there.
Yeah.
Take a console game that the publisher spend hundreds of millions of dollars of building a game that is more real than the real world, and now have immersive ads in it. That's a different level of what premium is. And also when we speak about native, today native ad is still inside a box. What like this intrinsic in-game format, like the immersiveness of like the ad in the game is like in a different level.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the experience and what like, excites us about what we do.
As we said, it's not a clickable experience, but it's a memorable experience. And just curious how you see this evolving so that we get ultimately deeper and deeper down that funnel.
It's changing. I mean, the desire for clicks, we see that's like, declining over the years.
Because it's not the real engagement. It says very little about the value of the user, of the player as well.
Exactly. Yeah, and the click is becoming smaller and smaller, and then you accidentally click it, and then like what's happening after that. And
it's got to be about connecting with audiences. We've been talking about it for 10 years, but I feel it's at that inflection point where it's coming on very, very strong, but you still need to adjust those expectations. So, what do you tell them?
Digital natives look at this differently than generations before.
Yes.
Right? And as digital natives are taking more and more senior seats at the brand and agency world, everything is changing, right? I mean, like a great agency person who built a 30-year successful career from selling TV like places, maybe it's going to be harder to like explain him what gaming has become.
Right.
And having said that, his children are a great way, to tell him where the world is, right? I was the other day speaking with my son about something, and then we were not sure about something we spoke, so I was going to Google to search it, and he was calling me old because he was going to ChatGPT to check it, right?
Oh, yeah, okay.
So, like, we are now the old people in the room, right? Yeah. And like, we also need to adapt where the world is, and so it's like two things happening at the same time. People from generations before, like the internet and gaming, are slowly but surely understanding what's happening here, and then also as the digital natives start to take over the world, things are becoming better.
It'll be different. Yeah. It'll be a different place. So we talked about the connection and the emotion, and when you look out to the next year, what are you excited about, Itamar? What is going on in your personal growth as well as the growth of your company? It's
like you said, it's like a lot of baby steps that we don't maybe appreciate each baby step down the road, but as we zoom out and see like within a longer period what happened, it's like just very exciting. We'll see more of the bigger gaming companies adopting advertising models. We see more of the big brands or starting to more experiment if they're like late in the game, or if they are not late in the game, maybe just doing more and taking gaming more seriously, giving gaming like a bigger seat at the table. Most of the media agencies and most of the big brands have gaming teams.
Yeah.
So that's
Gaming
like,
teams,
a great
dedicated.
start. There's like some
Yeah.
agencies have like a gaming CEO. There's like a 60, 70 team behind him. Like that was never the case. So now it's all coming in small steps. Like one thing was, okay, he hired a gaming lead. And now the team is growing. And now suddenly, okay, zoom out. There's 70 people here focusing on gaming. That's a big thing. So
I get it.
I think it's a lot of that.
Sure.
And we see how it helps to move conversations forward faster. A lot of more of these things that are small things that together become like a big deal.
Okay. Well, I have to say that speaking of conversations, it was just awesome to continue this one with you, Itamar. I mean, think about it, 10 years, and you were explaining this and we were chatting about it. It has arrived. You have arrived as well, Itamar. It has been a real pleasure, and may I say, more power to you to keep doing it. Yes.
Thank you.